So 6, maybe even 7 figures in 90 minutes. Is that even possible? In this video, I'm going to be showing you pretty much what I think is one of the few methods an entrepreneur can actually do and execute, and what are the 5 steps involved in order to make this happen. I'm talking about a 5-step system where you could get people in a room and you give them amazing time, you give them value, and at the end of 90 minutes, 2 hours, half a day, you give them so much value and you make an offer that is so compelling where they actually take out their credit cards and invest in whatever it is that you have without being salesy, pushy, or manipulative. And in this video, these are the 5 steps and exactly what we did in order to make it happen, not just once, but to do it consistently over and over and over again. Step 1 is all about selling the tickets. How do you fill up the room? And even if you sell these tickets, now these tickets be paid tickets, it could be free tickets, and how you sell these tickets to get people to come is crucial. So step number 1, all we did really is we ran Facebook ads selling the tickets to a free event. So yes, even if it's a free event, you have to sell the tickets to a free event. And that's exactly what we did. We ran Facebook ads showing people what are the 3, 5 different things that they will discover when they actually come to this event. Okay, so this event, we booked out the hotel. I think in this exact case study, we'll use the case study of the event that we did in Le Méridien. So we booked out this room. We were targeting 400 people to be in the room. Now, I know that based on past experiences, the show-up rate is approximately 50% for our events when it's free. So I know to get 400 people to show up, I need to get 800 people registered for this free event. So that's step number 1. How do you sell the tickets and understand what the forecasted show-up rate is? And that brings us to step number 2. Once you sell the tickets to this free event, number 2 is all about getting them to show up, right? So just because they paid for it, even though if it's a free event, just because they paid for it or even though they said yes to a free event doesn't necessarily mean that they'll show up. So what we do is, at the bare minimum, you want to have an email go out, 3 of them to be specific. You want to have text messages go out, and if you're really hardworking, you want to be able to call these people up. Now, we used to call people up, but for this event, we didn't, and all we really utilized is emails and text messages. So from there, we got about, as you know, forecasted, I think it was about 47% of people that showed up. That brings us to step 3. Step number 3 is, how do you deliver? What do you teach? How do you deliver? How do you make them feel that that time invested in you for showing up was well worth it, regardless of whether they bought or not? What do you teach them? How do you provide them value? Now, I always say this. I say that when it comes to teaching people stuff, people think that the thing they need is about the steps, right? Everybody says, if only I had the steps to build an online business, I would go do it. If only I had the steps to make $1 million, I would go do it. And I say that what if the thing that they actually need is not necessarily the steps? Here's why. If you want to really serve people at the highest level, steps will just make you a commodity, because anybody can get the steps by doing a search on YouTube or Google or Facebook. But rather, if you want to make real change, it's not about the steps. Here's why. Here's an example. Everybody in this world wants to be fit and healthy. Nobody wants to be sick and tired all the time. Everybody wants to be fit, healthy, and look good naked, right? But why isn't, I'd say 90% of the world, aren't people in their ideal shape or bodies? The reason why they might not necessarily be in the ideal shape of bodies is because even though they know the steps, which is a 2-step process, which is eat right, exercise daily, is because for a couple of reasons. It might not be important enough. They don't see the reason why. They don't have the environment that supports them. They might not have the belief, the mindset, the thinking, the attitude. So what that means is, if you want to really serve people at highest level and make them feel like there was real change, so they would execute on what it is that they do and they learned, then it's all about the belief, the mindset, and attitude. And you got to change those beliefs, because if all you did was talk about the steps, which is crucial, you will be replaced by Facebook or YouTube. So that's step number 3. How do you give them value? What do you teach? It's not just the steps, but also change the way they think, their mindset, their attitude. So once you do that, and they come in, regardless of whether you buy or not, here comes step number 4. Step number 4 is creating an offer to show them what is the next thing you need. Now this could be anything. This could be consulting, a coaching, done for you, a package. This could be an event, whatever you feel it is. So that's step number 4. How do you create this upsell that is compelling, giving them something they actually need that actually helps them? Now I know from past experience, my numbers of people who come to a free event would approximately be 10 to 25% for a $2,000 offer. Okay, so from there, understand you already know what your best case or worst case scenario is. So that's exactly what they did, which is step number 4. So I offered something at the end, and step number 5 is all about leveraging the event and repurposing it so you get the most out of it. So these could be constantly thinking about, how can I create a digital asset from this? I have many friends, marketers, trainers, amazing people, but one of the reasons they get stuck is they get stuck because they're constantly speaking, training, being on the road, and if they stop speaking, the income stops. So one of the things you want to do is to turn that into a digital asset. Think about, how can I use this, maybe bits and pieces of it in a YouTube video? How can I turn it into an ad? How can I add it into a members area? How can I repurpose it so that I can use it on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram? Right? That is how you fuel one event into an asset that generates visibility, reach, or revenue for you over and over and over again, and make it evergreen. So those are basically the 5 steps. And in this case study, that's exactly what we did to generate those results in 2 hours.